know how to ascend onto a throne that wicked people, including wicked Atalia, people who have returned a whole nation to worship idols, how do you know to overcome them and ascend the throne? But for this Jehoiada, who took swords and spears and marshaled the priests and called them and said, let's go and do a coup d'etat and remove these vagabonds from the place and put the rightful heir there. And they put you there. That's how you say thank you. You say thank you for this priest and for this man of God. He risked his life. He could have been killed in that battle. He could have lost his priesthood. The risk of that particular move could have backfired. And all the priests would have been killed. Because priests are not soldiers. So if you are going to fight soldiers, it's not going to be easy. But he armed them and marched to the palace and removed the one who was there and put this boy there. And when he put him there, after you have grown up and now you are strong and you are healthy, now you are eating such, your wives have grown, you have born the children. You are telling me that you don't remember Jehoiada. Okay. Maybe there's a Jehoiada in your life. So when I always want to say thank you for Bishop Dagwood Mills. He's more than Jehoiada in my life. Yes. What I'm saying, you see, the result of this Joash's action is what we saw in his own people killing him for what he did against Jehoiada. Because everybody can see that it's not nice. Yeah. It's not nice when you are treating the person who was good to you. When people know it and then they see how you are insulting the person, they know that it's not a nice thing. And you may stand and say that, but why are they killing the king? I mean, these people, they must also be killed. You see, your mind is not mature. The mind is not mature. That's why you'll be saying that. Is there anybody in Saul's house, Jonathan, that might show him kindness? I will show you kindness for your father's sake. I will show you kindness for Jonathan's sake. I will show you kindness because the man has died, though. The man is dead. He's gone. But the one who has come after is remembering the kindness. Yeah. Remembering the kindness. Wow. God judges the world today based on the world's reaction to his own son. Yes. How do you treat God's son? Are you kind to God's son? Are you loving to God's son? Do you remember that Jesus is God's son? How did human beings behave when God sent his own son into the world? They attacked him. They murdered him. Yes. That was not a very nice thing. Killing God's son is how people show gratitude. Yes, to God for his love. Men to whom great kindness has been shown should say thank you by showing kindness to the children of the men who have done them good. Always remember that God will judge you for your reaction to his son. So you may say that it's not the man. If it was the man, I would do. But the children, even the children are drunkards. Oh, the children are into drugs. Oh, the children, so I will never give them such a house. If I give them these cars, they will even spoil it. I will never. So those children, you have no interest in them. But God is speaking to your heart. God is talking to you. Is there anybody who has showed you kindness? What about his children? What about his children? Do you have any such kindness? That's why your attitude to God must be one of deep gratitude. And whatever you have to do to show that he gave you his son, do you understand? You must receive him with love and deep appreciation. But if God himself was to arrive here, you say, oh, yeah, God, yeah, if it's God, yeah, fine. But you know, I mean, this whole thing about, I've given my life to Jesus, but, doing anything. It's like I don't really have time. My job, my work, my children. I don't really see, I can't have time and so on. Now your kindness for receiving God's great gift in his son is to not have time for anything that represents him. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. Our way of saying thank you to the son who came to live and die to purchase our redemption is to say, I don't have time. I don't have time for all these things. I don't have time for all these things. Is that how you show kindness? Is that how you show gratitude? Is that how you come around? It's like if God has sent you his son, God has been kind to you. God has been kind to you. And his son says, go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. It's like, I don't have time. You are changing from today. Amen. I said you are changing from today. Amen. Jehoiada, he said, sure. Your father has died and gone. And you are coming to small boy. You are coming to do what to me? How dare you bring me to order? You can't. Away with you. May God have mercy on you and show you great kindness. There's another similar story. Let me just go to that one. Number 8. The children of Israel said thank you to Gideon for delivering them by killing 70 of his children. The stories are wild. Your own, they wrote the Bible before you came, so your own is not inside. But you two, you have done worse. Are you there still? In Judges. Yeah. Chapter 8, you see that story. All these stories, they begin way before, but just so that we will not overshoot our time too much today. Beautiful. Judges 8:32. And Gideon, the son of Joash, not that Keno, this is a different Joash, died in a good old age and was buried in the sepulchre of Joash his father in Ophrah of the Abiezrites. And it came to pass as soon as Gideon was dead. Do you remember Gideon? Gideon was the guy who an angel appeared to, and then if you heard of the fleece, the angel appeared to him and said, thou mighty man of valor, and that God will use him to redeem Israel from the Midianites. And then he said, what? Me? I am the least in my family. My father's house is the least in Israel. Yes. My tribe is the least. My father's house is the least also. And then I am also the least in my father's house. How can I be used by God? And the angel said, go in this your might. This is the might that God is going to use. Then he says, then show me a sign that, it will happen. Then he said, okay. The angel said he should find a fleece, like the fleece is what? The fur of a lamb or a ram or sheep or something like that. Like what you use for wool. You make it, you use. So he put it on the ground and he said, okay, it should rain everywhere. Do you see? Apart from the fleece, where the fleece is. Because if it rains on the fleece only and not around the ground, it will be as though somebody came to wet the fleece. But rather, let rain come on every part of the ground, only this one it shouldn't touch. So they did some fleece, like a lottery. And then he used it as a sign. So okay, then he went. So he delivered Israel. Then when he died, the Bible says, it came to pass as soon as Gideon was dead, that the children of Israel turned again and went a-whoring after Baalim and made Baal Berith their god. You see, it's always the idolatry, backsliding. When people backslide, that's when they start turning against God and the people who are sent to them. And the children of Israel remembered not the Lord their God, who had delivered them out of the hands of all their enemies on every side. Neither showed they kindness to the house of Jerubbaal, namely Gideon, according to all the goodness which he has showed unto Israel. People can return evil for good that has been shown them. When you see it, don't say that, hey, but this Gideon, maybe there were things that we didn't know. You see, there were things maybe we did. Maybe how can the people just rise up and fight Gideon and kill Gideon's children? There must be something maybe Gideon did, because human beings can't just get up and kill somebody. People can. Out of deep ingratitude. I'm teaching you, but if you don't understand it, you will never receive what I'm saying. People can. Gideon, what evil had he done against the people? Nothing. Only maybe he didn't want you to have your way when you wanted to have idols. Now that he has died and he's out of the way, you have done what you know. If Gideon was alive, you would dare not do that. But now you have risen up to follow idols. And then you turn against his children and slaughter them and use that as your thank you for the person who has loved you, who has risked his life, who has delivered you, and then who has helped you to be who you are today. Hey, Nyankopon, omwane mao. Oh, Zabakutaria Dalaba. Judges 9, verse 2. He says, speak, I pray you, in the ears of all the men of Shechem, whether it's better for you either that all the sons of Jerubbaal, which are 70 persons, reign over you, or that one reign over you. Remember also that I am bone of your flesh, bone of your bone and flesh of your flesh. And his mother's brethren spake of him in the ears of all the men of Shechem all these words, and their hearts inclined and followed Abimelech. This Abimelech. For they said, he is our brother. And they gave him 70 pieces of silver out of the house of Baal-berith, wherewith Abimelech hired vain and light persons which followed him. And he went unto his father's house at Ophrah, and slew his brethren, the sons of Jerubbaal, Gideon's children, and stoned them with stones, being 70 persons upon one stone. Notwithstanding, yet Jotham, the youngest son of Jerubbaal, was left, for he hid himself. Wow. And when they told it to Jotham, he went and stood in the top of Mount Gerizim, and lifted up his voice and cried and said unto them, hearken unto me, ye men of Shechem, that God may hearken unto you. The trees went forth on a time to anoint a king over them. Then he gave them a parable. Yes. Now the father has died. Now all the sons are there. Then one orangu son rises up and leads the people. The people also follow him to go and slay the sons of somebody who was your savior, who was your help, who was your trainer. Hey, people have received this thing. The day you see one, you would like to come for all my messages and listen to them again. There you see one of these ungrateful people who return evil for good. Hey, in your office, you are the spearhead, the leader of riots. When you were a national service person, how you knelt before the man and say, I beg you, there's nobody in my family who works. My father, my mother are all sick. If I don't get this job, I'm a dead man. I beg you, I beg you, I beg you. The man said, oh, you know, what you have said has touched me. No problem. They say they need only one space, but I'll add a second one. Then or I'll create something for you. You just come and work with me for some time. Then after that, the system will as an intern, the system will swallow you. Yeah, they found a way and made the way and pushed you there. Today you are now established. You are a manager. You are manager unit. They have people under you. Yeah. It's easy for you now. The man, they say, hey, salary something. He is the one who said that they should make that thing only 5% instead of 15%. And then No, we not go sit down. The man is wicked. We must. Then you are championing and a looter against the person who made a way for you. You are now a rabble rouser, an agent provocateur, an infantile leftist. You are now rising. And you should tell yourself when you are doing that, who are you rising against? There's a question you should ask yourself. Who are we rising against? Who are we trying to go and fight or kill or spoil his car? Hey, Choboy. Hey, Choboy. Hey, Choboy. Choboy. You are the Choboy man. Hey, you are the one shouting the Choboy. I think when Julius Caesar was being killed, I think so many people were striking knives, daggers on him and everything. When his very best friend, the one with whom he ate and fellowshiped and talked, when he struck him and Caesar turned and saw that, hey, this Brutus is also one of the people killing me. He said, et tu Brute? It's like, et tu Brute? It's like, are you also inside this thing? Then fall, Caesar. Then fall. Because it's difficult, painful. Yes. Somebody has looked after you today. You are taking him to court. Over land. The land, boy, is not yours. You don't like this type of messages, you see. It's rocking you on the wrong side. So he gave them a parable and said, the trees went forth on a time to anoint a king over them. And they said unto the olive tree, reign over us. But the olive tree said unto them, should I leave my fatness wherewith by me they honor God and man, and go to be promoted over the trees? And the trees said to the fig tree. So the olive said, they use me to honor God and men. I think olive, we use it, olive oil. Yes, for anointing things. It's used to honor men, leave them to be kings, anoint them to be priests, anoint them to be prophets. And it's used for honoring God. I should leave it and come and be a ruler over. Hey, I have a higher calling. Then the tree said to the fig tree, come thou and reign over us. But the fig tree said unto them, should I forsake my sweetness and my good fruit and go to be promoted over the trees? Because he has olive tree is used for what? Fig tree is used for what? Fig is what? I think it's fruit, isn't it? It's a fruit. Okay. Then the tree said unto the vine, come thou and reign over us. And the vine said unto them, should I leave my wine, which cheereth God and man? I don't know how God is cheered with wine, but communion wine. Okay, it cheereth God and man, and go to be promoted over the trees. Then said all the trees unto the bramble, come thou and reign over us. Bramble. And the bramble said unto the trees, if in truth ye anoint me king over you, then something is coming. Then then come and put your trust in my shadow. And if not, let fire come out of the bramble and devour the cedars of Lebanon. Now therefore, if you have done truly and sincerely in that ye have made Abimelech king, and if ye have dealt well with Jerubbaal and his house, and have done unto him according to the deserving of his hands, for my father fought for you, and adventured his life far, and delivered you out of the hand of Midian, and ye are risen up against my father's house this day, and have slain his sons, 70 persons, upon one stone, and have made Abimelech, the son of his maidservant, king over the men of Shechem, because he is your brother. Now some of you, the only thing you know is because somebody is your brother. He comes from a hometown. The next verse. If ye then have dealt truly and sincerely with Jerubbaal and with his house this day, then rejoice ye in Abimelech, and let him also rejoice in you. But if not, let fire come out from Abimelech and devour the men of Shechem and the house of Milo, and let fire come out from the men of Shechem and from the house of Milo and devour Abimelech. That means that all of you are going to be consumed. Abimelech and all of you who have followed him, all those guys. Hey. Are you there or you've gone home? The story is long. Let's jump to verse 50. Verse 50. He says, then went Abimelech to Thebez and encamped against Thebez and took it. But there was a strong tower within the city, and thither fled all the men and women and all they of the city, and shut it to them. You see, it's going to describe their distraction. But there was, and shut it up and got them up to the top of the tower. Verse 52. And Abimelech came unto the tower and fought against it, and went hard unto the door of the tower to burn it with fire. And a certain woman cast a piece of millstone upon Abimelech's head, and all to break his skull. Then he called hastily unto a millstone is the one that you use for grinding pepper. Is that also? Yes. So the one that the big one that lies down, sits down, then you grind pepper on it. She took that one and released it onto his head as he was downstairs. And he called hastily unto his young man who bears his armor, and said unto him, draw thy sword and slay me, that men say not of me, a woman slew me. And his young men thrust him through, and he died. And when the men of Israel saw that Abimelech was dead, they departed every man unto his place. And then what happened? Thus God rendered the wickedness of Abimelech, which he did unto his father, in slaying his 70 brethren. And all the evil of the men of Shechem did God render upon their heads. And upon them came the curse of Jotham, the son of Jerubbaal. Yes. So the curse, if you let fire will come, so you and Abimelech and all of you be consumed. He released a curse. And this is how it played out. A woman is the one who killed Abimelech. You see. So brothers, this is an amazing story. Yeah. Gideon was rewarded for his hard work. My father fought for you and adventured his life for you. See how you reward him. This was the way the nation of Israel thanked Gideon for all his adventurous missions where he risked his life for the nation. Yeah. Is that a nice way to say thank you? When you have good leaders, you see, even in Ghana, we have had good leaders, but sometimes the way, even when Nkrumah, let's say, was overthrown, we all forgot that he adventured his life to release us from the clutches of colonialism. You know these words, isn't it? Colonialism. And he declared that the Ghana, our beloved country, is free forever. Yes. and champion the liberation of other African countries, because he said that the independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it is linked up with the total liberation of the African people. Hey, of Africa. Prof, am I saying the right thing? But when he had traveled, I think he went to Hanoi, then they overthrew him. Come and see Ghana. Hey, hey, hey. Because I don't know, we like aluta, rabble rousing. It's like people who are fighting authority. We just enjoy such things. You don't even know the details of the issues, but you just enjoy. It's like, hey, yeah, it's true, it's good. Let him go. Let him go out. When they started to slaughter former heads of state, the whole of Ghana were screaming, let the blood flow. The campuses, let the blood flow. Wicked people, Kalabule, they have championed, they have made us poor. Kill them. Don't enjoy it when people rise up against authority. It's not a good thing. Don't enjoy it. If you are in the house, your brother is rising against your father. Your sisters are rising against your mother. Rise up against them and say that I am different from you. It's not right. One day we'll also be fathers, we'll also be mothers. We will not like our children to rise up against us no matter what we do to them. I'm reading the Bible. I'm not even giving you some examples. But I'm reading just the Bible. You can see that these people, ingratitude. Yeah, because somebody rose up and adventured himself for you. Yes. And instead of showing him commensurate appreciation, you come and kill his children. It's like you don't even like the man. That's why you are killing the children. That's the message you are giving. About you say. Those of you with about you say, when you wear shades, you look fearful. Don't let people rope you into rising against your bosses, your workers, that people who have done good to you and helped you. Then you just rise up and champion a cause to bring them down. Don't have that. It's demonic. It's devilish. When some 6 pastors rose up against the leadership of this ministry, you will see even church members. You see that, yeah. How can somebody work for you and you won't pay his net? Have you gone into the issue? You even go into the issue. You even ask anybody any question. Then as a church member, you just rise up with a kind of beastly thoughts against your own church. Because maybe they are your schoolmates. They've come from your hometown. One guy told me that how can somebody rise up against another person with whom you went to the same school? Abimelech has risen up. Because you and Abimelech went to the same school, you are saying that somebody who is rising against Abimelech, how can he rise up against Abimelech, who also went to the same school? So we are in the, since when did same school become a congregation point for honoring God? Most of our schoolmates, they don't even regard God. Instead of being aligned to God and his church, and a church that has been with you, giving you 2 wives. I beg you, not 2 wives like 2 wives, but it's just, I'm just talking about Jehoiada, a parabolic, and put you on the throne. Dedicated your children, dedicated your shop, dedicated your business, dedicated your car, dedicated your shop, dedicated your aeroplane. If some enemies rise up from the east, then you say that, I didn't know that, the leadership, when leadership is so hard, that's what makes people rise and make people, you see. Look at how now your mind is working. You don't think of what the leadership has done for you and to you. You are only thinking about, it's like what the leadership could have done for somebody to be doing evil things. I'm telling you that evil things are done by people who have been helped greatly. It doesn't mean that the leadership is bad. Sister, when you clap, it's part of your receptivity. Yes. I'm not saying you should clap if you don't really want to clap. It's not by force like that. But you can see it. Yeah. The day you sit somewhere and have worked for people and sacrificed for them and have ventured your life for them and risked your life for them, and you see them rising against you, and you say, hey, these people, what I've done for them. You haven't seen some before. When you are young and immature, or you haven't experienced certain things, you sometimes just think that anybody that somebody rises against must be a bad person. Yes. Because you agree that there is no smoke without fire. Oh, jai. But are we not in Africa? Have you not seen smoke in your house that the fire is not from your house before? Hey, you didn't hear. I said, have you not been in your house? There's no fire. There's no fire in your kitchen. There's no fire in your sitting room. Nothing is burning in your house. It's burning some 200 houses away, 20 houses away, 5 houses away. But the smoke has filled your own house. You haven't seen some before? Is there anybody who has seen one before? Is there anyone who has seen one before? Yeah. So don't say there's no smoke without fire. There can always be smoke with fire, but the fire is not in your house. Yes. Yes. Yesterday you saw smoke in your house. Yes. And there was no fire. Yes. So people's houses can be on fire, and your whole house is filled with the smoke of somebody's smoke that is coming from his fire, from his own house. Don't sit somewhere and look at someone and say, hey, there's no smoke without fire. Hey, Papa, wait. That piano Oshija. Oshija. Is he burning? Is he? He's every day burning something in the house, but it's not from his house. What did Gideon do? What did Zechariah or his father Jehoiada do to Joash? Interesting, another Joash name came back. It's not the same Joash. This Joash name is associated with things. This time the Joash was a good person. His son was. All the people who were involved in killing Gideon's sons were destroyed in the wars that followed. They were all cursed because they had repaid Gideon's efforts by killing his children. He that repays good with evil, the Bible declares that evil will not depart from his house. Evil will always be in his house. Are you there still? Yeah. I pray for you that you never be found joining forces with those that are fighting those